Jasmine's proposition that e-waste is a big problem. By listening to the evidence that I heard, I don't know. I would have liked to accept the proposition because I'm actually really into the environment. But when she's talking about e-waste, there wasn't enough evidence to confirm or deny that it's actually happening. And maybe it's just overstated or overrated, or we just don't know. Her argument seemed to be threefold. One was that it causes environmental harm. Secondly, that it causes damage to humans or health hazards to humans. And third, that the recycling practices of businesses aren't enough to curb the e-waste problem that we might have throughout the world. But it may be overstated. She had a quote from Mr. Glaze who said, "It's potentially disastrous health consequences across the world." Well, it may be, but we didn't hear any evidence to back up. Are there any studies done that say that this percentage of e-waste comes out of the United States or developed countries going into developing countries? What kind of percentage of health problems are associated with that? We didn't hear evidence about that. Jasmine talked about chemicals that are being dumped in landfills can cause problems because the chemicals can come off those products, end up in the soil, and then ultimately affect humans when they come in contact with it. But we didn't hear any evidence of those studies. And in fact, the EPA itself, which she claimed had found that, talked about toxicity characteristics leaching procedure. It's called TCLP. That showed, this is a testing that they do to find out whether these chemicals come off the products or not. And the EPA itself said they do it in a lab and it doesn't predict real world conditions, meaning that a garbage truck, the test itself, has to break these pieces down into little tiny pieces and then they dump it in an acid bath. And then yes, the chemical like lead comes off of the product. But that's not real world conditions. We know garbage trucks don't smash them down into little pieces or soak them into acid baths. So that claim right there, without any other supporting evidence, we can't buy on its face. Jasmine also said, she quoted Annie Leonard, who said that 80% of e-waste is shipped overseas and then just dumped. Well, the evidence shows that there was an ASU study that showed that into Peru from the United States, 85% of the products, the e-waste, were end-of-life products that were shipped overseas and then refurbished or resold, which left 15% that might be traditionally waste that might have some chemicals on it. But we don't know if that 15%, how much it's harming the environment. We don't have any studies to back that up. So the claim that this is such a disastrous problem that's going to destroy the globe can't be accepted. And let's see. And if you think about it, she was insinuating that the problem is growing. But really, if you think about technology, what happens with technology? We buy cell phones and devices that are becoming smaller and smaller. So is that size of the e-waste going to grow or it's going to shrink? Well, if we have more products that are being bought that are smaller in size, then maybe the problem might actually take care of itself on down the line. Maybe, maybe not. We just need more evidence to find out whether that's true or not. Thank you.